Since 1999, Networks Theatre has been a home to English-speaking theatre in Orihuela, Spain. The theatre, founded by Nick Moore, has presented over 110 shows. From children's shows through to plays, musicals, theatre and education, and our proud history of 18 specially written pantomimes. Pull up a chair and join us as we meet another of our wonderful company in Networks Theatre, Conversations with. Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Networks Conversations with. This week we are going live to Madrid to talk to our very experienced actor, Jorge Ruiz. Jorge, how are you doing?
Hi Nick, I'm fine.
Give us a little bit of an update of what's happened in the life of Jorge Ruiz since you left Orihuela back in about 2016?
Yes. It's been 6 years since I left Orihuela. I came to Madrid to study at university. I studied math and physics. I ended up liking more math, so I'm doing a master's right now, and I want to, and I believe I will, do research next year.
Okay.
I will start a PhD.
Okay. And like you'll spend your time in academia or eventually work for a business? How does it work?
My hope is I will spend all my time in academia and researching and hopefully teaching, because I do want to teach mathematics. But I will see if this, it's 4 years of a PhD. If these 4 years I don't really like it, then I'll go to business or something. Okay, so for everyone not interested in maths and science, here comes the theatre bit. Okay. Did you start at Networks when you were 6 years old, like a lot of people? I think a bit older, maybe 8.
Yeah, 9. I'm talking about classes as opposed to the theatre.
Yeah, I know. I think I started maybe second or third of primary.
Okay. And who was your teacher when you first started?
Dennis Malone.
Dennis Malone. Was he your teacher right the way through your time at Networks?
He was.
Isn't that great? The magic of Networks, that you can spend like 10 or 12 years with the same teacher. I'm sure our students develop Stockholm syndrome. You know what that is, where you learn to love your jailer? Because I've got students who've been with me for 10 years and they don't know anyone else can speak English, but it's great. Dennis Malone, fabulous man. So was he the first person who told you about Networks Theatre, or had you heard about it before?
I learned about it before because I watched a show in Networks. My older brother was performing.
Okay.
And so I knew about it. I think I know about it way before I knew about, that the Academy taught English.
Yeah.
So I thought it was
so you'd heard about the theatre before the language side of the Academy.
Yes. Totally.
Your brother's a little bit older than you. He's about 6 years older than you, isn't he?
Yes, 7, but it's because I am from January and he was born in November. It's actually 8.
Yeah, we don't need to get mathematical about it. Just kind of more or less. Okay, and he was actually one of the leading actors when we first started the theatre. And your brother, Albert, is it Albert? Alberto.
Yeah.
Yeah, his school name was Tony, and he was one of the 2 first ever students that I used in the older group when we did Secret Garden. So that might have been a production that you saw. What was your first theatre course?
Junior Saves Christmas.
Junior Saves Christmas, which, let me have a look at my list, was 2007. Yeah, 2007 in December. What do you remember about it?
One of the few things I remember about it is being on stage and you were explaining the meaning of the word yesterday and how to pronounce it. Okay. Because it was in a line, I had to say.
Okay. So it was to help you pronounce the word yesterday. Okay. It wasn't like me saying, where were you yesterday? Because we had a rehearsal. No, okay.
No. I was saying that I probably looked confused or something. I said, okay, I will explain it to you.
Yeah, it's great about the theatre because that repetition, the rehearsal is because is great for working out problems with pronunciation. Oh, that's great. So you now know how to say the word yesterday thanks to Networks Theatre.
Exactly.
Fabulous. Do you remember any of the songs from it or any lines you had to say?
I don't think I remember any song from that show. I think if you like, if I listen to some again, I will remember. Oh yes, that one.
And then
it got like the main theme, that one.
Yeah, that was the main theme. Yeah. Okay. How many theatre shows have you done at Networks in total?
I've done 16. 8 children's shows, 8 grown-up shows.
Okay, so you literally did the whole process. Started off when you were like 8, 9 years of age with 1 or 2 lines, right through to the top of the children's courses, and then starting again with the older group, and then coming through to take the lead roles. What were some memorable children's courses for you?
Adventures in Pantoland.
Okay.
I believe that show was magical.
Okay. Well, Adventures in Pantoland, for anybody who's watching, is the story of 3 friends who each have to return a prop from the story. Do you remember the 3 props?
No.
Cinderella's fairy godmother's wand, Aladdin's lamp, which
I do remember that one.
Would have significance for you a few years later, and then also Snow White's apple. Yeah, and we did the show again last 2019, and it was the final show we did before the pandemic hit, and so at the moment that's the last show we did. So okay, you enjoyed Adventures in Pantoland. Do you remember? I remember you in A Christmas Carol.
Yes, I was.
I remember you in a white shirt and a tie.
Yes, I think I was supposed to be the nephew of Scrooge.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, the nephew of Scrooge. That's quite right. Do you remember any? I think also I remember you in our version, our children's version of the Titanic story.
That was my last children course.
Yeah, you played a film director.
Yes. Which was, I think he was kind of a pervert or something. I don't remember that.
Okay, let's clarify that. We did 2 versions when we opened our new theatre. In the older version, the film director is trying to get a little bit too close to our central character, Mary. In the children's version, that was very much watered down. But because a lot of people had just seen the older version, they tried to introduce those ideas to the junior version, and I was fighting it every step of the way. Yeah, movies were movies when you paid a dime to escape. What a great song. Okay, so then you joined our older group. Do you remember any of the shows you did during that time?
Yeah, the grown-up shows, I remember them all.
Okay. What was your first one? I'm just kind of looking at the list here to see if I can guess what it was. No. What do you think it was?
Dick Whittington.
Dick Whittington. Okay, so you joined us for a pantomime. November 2013. How old would you have been?
I was in 4th of high school. I don't remember the age, but it was... Yeah,
about 14, 15 or something, yeah. Okay, and what do you remember about performing in pantomime, Dick Whittington?
It was... I did not do like any kind of show for 1 year. In 3rd of high school, I did not do any show. And I watched a lot of them, and it reminded me that I wanted to participate. So I went to Dick Whittington, and I had so much fun. Well, I did 7 more afterwards.
You were back. Yeah, you were back. did I not kind of like catch you in the street or something and say, why are you not part of this?
You did, and I think in choir, I remember that I was in the audience, and before the show started, you told me, why aren't you doing so?
Yeah, I remember now. It was during the production of Choir that I saw you, and I said to you, why, after doing all of those theatre courses, why don't you come and do it? Especially as you had a kind of history, your family had a history of participating in the theatre with Tony, with Alberto. Okay, so you did Dick Whittington. How did you find the experience? What were you kind of overpowered by what pantomime was, or did you take it all in your stride?
I was kind of overpowered by all the things that were happening at the time, but I really liked it. I mean, it felt kind of like an adrenaline rush. I want to do this more. It's so fun.
Yeah. So you did Dick Whittington, and then I'm looking down the list now. I don't think you were in Odysseus, were you? We then lost you again. Remembrance, your brother did it.
Yes, he did.
We lost you again. You were back for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I remember you in that.
Yes, I was in that.
Yeah. Okay. I actually rewrote Snow White for that production. So all of the dancers actually got a scene, because so many times dancers just get, come on for a song, go off, come on for a song, go off. And I wanted to give everybody their own moment in the pantomime. And do you remember who you were performing with?
With Finesse.
Yeah, with Inez Hernandez. That's
exactly.
Right. Yeah. Were you in the kind of imaginary horse moment?
Yes, we were.
Yeah, when the prince arrives on his imaginary horse, yeah.
No pens.
So who's got all the pens?
Do you know how to unsaddle a horse?
No, but if you sing it and try to hum on.
Me, horse!
Well, don't shout. Your horse, of course.
Do you work at the palace?
Why? Do you want me to put a word in here?
I don't need a job. I'm a handsome prince in search of a fair maiden. I want you to tell me where the palace is. You're both useless.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll go and look after your horse.
His name is Sebastian.
I love Panto. Then, okay, I've written them all down. In 2015, you were in 5 shows. Can you remember them all?
I did remember 4, so it's gonna be.
Remember 4? Okay, go on then.
This one is the year of Psychedelic Cool, right?
Psychedelic Cool was the second one.
Okay, so we have Snow White, Psychedelic Cool, Last Hope.
No, Snow White was in the year before.
Okay.
So there's one between Snow White and Psychedelic Cool.
Last Hope,
I think Jose died of cancer.
Yeah, Last Hope.
Yeah, Last Hope. So there was Last Hope, which was written and directed by Joe P. Was it written and directed by Joe? No.
Danny and Ines, I think.
No, that's my error. You're absolutely right. It was Daniel and Ines. The year before, Joe had done her show, which was called, forgive me, viewer, we have done 110 shows. I do occasionally make errors. That was 2 years before, and it was called A Game of Love. Yeah, okay. That was written by Daniel Nieves and Ines Ruiz, and it was Last Hope. Psychedelic Cool. And then
When I Was Me.
When I Was Me. And then
Totem,
written and directed by Pedro Murcia. And then
Aladdin.
It was Aladdin, yeah. What an amazing year. I mean, I have to ask you, how did you have time for it all?
I wish I only had time for that, because I had I was having so much fun.
Yeah.
I did not want to do anything else.
Okay, what are your memories of Last Hope? What can you tell us about the story? What do you remember?
Well, the story was about how to it was about this boy. Well, yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
That had cancer and how other friends dealt with the situation, how they treated him, how they all react. Because when one person gets cancer, it's probably not just the person having a bad time. It's everybody in there.
It affects the family. I remember there was a scene with the mother that was very touching, and the family and the friends. And even though you know there's an inevitable end to the story, you witness it happening. It was an emotional journey, and some great songs used in it as well. I still hear those songs on the radio and stuff, and it takes me straight back to the production of Last Hope. That was a year when we kind of killed people in every show, if you remember. You had Last Hope, somebody dying of cancer. Psychedelic Cool, of course, the boy gets killed at the end. Psychedelic Cool was the show that we were rehearsing when the pandemic hit. So on March the 19th, 2 years ago, we were only 2.5 weeks away from performing it. And I still to this day feel so sad for all of the kids who didn't get to perform Psychedelic Cool.
Well, they couldn't teach you anything. You think you're such a looker that no customer could go to. And she was a hooker. Baby, don't sweat. Wanna get out, hold that door, then forget it. Once they heard them by a snow, now your bags are gone, your left is real, but still there will be true. I thought that ain't things and go back to high school. Baby, don't blow it. Good advice. Shame. All that I say is for your game. Now I've got the shot, get all the ball. I really go that far. Gonna be going to that cool place in the sky. Years will drop out. Back to high school. Drop out. Back to high school.
Because that was a fun show, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
And I do wish I could have seen, the new generation.
Yeah, no, sure. We'd even done photographs because we'd put them all into costume. We had all the costumes, which is one of the joys of repeating a show, because when Dennis Carpenter gets all the costumes together, he then makes sure he keeps hold of them to so if we repeat the show, life is a bit easier, and he's got them ready. And we'd done a kind of dress rehearsal in the costumes, and it was tragic for them. It really was. When I Was Me is the next one. What do you remember about that?
It was a tough show to none of the shows, even though they were sad, they were tough to perform. You never felt sad rehearsing because as your friends, it was fun. But when you got into the mentality of what the show meant, it was tough.
Yeah, I mean,
it was supposed to be tough, right?
Yeah, because one thing I've never ever wanted to do as a writer is just say, oh, let's just dance and have a good time. I want there to be a meaty story there. And When I Was Me, of course, was based on the fact that the inspiration for it came from a television documentary I saw about children in South Korea, who were under so much pressure to work, to study, that they were committing suicide. And I thought, this is a crazy situation. But then I realized that I could extend it by using other stories, because I don't think I could fill an hour and a quarter or an hour and a half with just the story of a girl who's being forced to study. So there was, in your version, because we've done it twice, in your version of the show, there was a boy who was gay under pressure. And that's all about religious conversion therapy, which of course is a controversial topic. Do you remember any of the other subjects?
The first one was cyberbullying.
Tommy Chathara, cyberbullying. You're right.
Marta Gutierrez, Leslie, I believe the name was.
Very good. That was the studying. That was the studying story, wasn't it? That was the studying story. And then it was Lucas Paesta, which was about
anorexia or something. Bulimic.
Pressure to. That was actually male bulimia, because he wanted to be a sports star and he refused to eat because he wanted to stay thin. And then there was the transsexual story, and I think it might have seemed shocking at the time, but we have students at networks who are transsexual. I know of 2 students in networks who are transsexual, and so to put those stories on stage, I just think it's really important. And you were great. In the show. I remember that a lot. Tell us about Totem.
It was a kind of particular show because I had never done a show with so little people. We were just 4 actors and the director.
Absolutely, yeah. It kind of increases the amount of stuff you have to do, isn't it?
Yes, you have to work a lot more.
Totem was you, Ines Ruiz.
Yes.
Jose Angel Zaragoza.
Yes.
And who was the 4th? Matthias.
Yes.
We must get Matthias on the conversations with. Yeah. Okay. And what do you remember about the story?
It's kind of fuzzy because the story itself in the show was, I think it was supposed to be not straight, not linear. It was about, I think, a family business. I think it was a theater. It was bankrupt, something.
Yeah. They were in danger of losing the family business.
Yeah.
Were there 3 brothers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Matthias was the older one.
Yeah.
I was the middle one, and Jose was the younger one.
Of course.
And the story starts when I think they called me because I'm a writer in some city, and I was supposed to, I think, help them write a show.
That's right. Yeah, help them write a show to save the family business. And you weren't. I remember your character. You weren't interested.
No, I think I wasn't.
Okay, and I must say, Jorge, I know you hate it, but it's got one of the most enduring memories of a photograph that we have ever seen, and you absolutely hated it. And I used it at every opportunity on like social media, and this is the photo now. There it is. We love you, Jorge. We miss you.
I miss you too.
Your final show. We just lightly touch on Aladdin. What was it like to play Aladdin in Aladdin?
it was the only prince I would have wanted to play. It was Aladdin, one of my favorite Disney movies and stuff. So I really liked that I was chosen to play Aladdin.
Yeah, no, you were great at the comedy as well. Yeah, fabulous. Your final show was one of our most favorite shows at Networks, which is Robin Hood and the Silver Disc. With your permanent sidekick, Jose Angel Zaragoza, it was always like you two. We actually thought you were married at one point. What was the experience of Robin Hood like?
I say Robin Hood was the show in which I had the most fun, because I didn't get stressed at all. It was my final show, and I thought, I'm going to have fun with this. So, and the new generation that came in that show, they are wonderful. And I'm really glad that I got to do my last show with some people that I have already, some of my best friends that I have already met in networks, like Jose, like Inés, Marta Candela, some nice people. It was a good send-off.
We often talk about generations, Dennis and I, because obviously the theatre's been going for 22, 23 years. So the generations that we had at different points throughout time. And we talk about your generation. And we'll often say Jorge and Jose's generation. Because then we can picture who was with you at the time. Marta, Vergara, Candela. And when you left, it was genuinely a sad moment for us, because we then had to almost rebuild the older group. Because when one generation leaves and like 9 of you go in one moment, you lose the core of the group. So we miss you.
I miss you too. I miss you in particular, and Networks a lot, really.
Okay. Obviously, it's a great place to make friends, isn't it?
It is.
Because Jose, for example, I know he became a good friend of yours. Completely different school, completely different part of town. You didn't study together, did you?
No, we didn't.
No, okay. And we must get Jose on the podcast as well. It's not a podcast, it's a YouTube thing. There we are. Okay, Mr. Jorge, we're going to finish with 2 minutes of random questions. Okay. So if you're ready, I'll try and give you some mathematical questions.
No, please don't.
No, oh really? Okay. So here we go. I'm going to look for 2 minutes. Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Why?
I'm not a big pasta fan. I like it.
Pineapple, does it belong on pizza?
It doesn't taste that bad, but it doesn't belong on pizza. It's a principle thing.
Thank you for watching, everybody, today. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Has any book changed your life?
I don't think so.
Okay. Could you ride a cow?
I'd say yes. Okay.
You say you're willing to give it a go, yeah?
Yes, I am willing.
Okay, brilliant. Would you like a small part in a pantomime or a big part in a play?
Right now, a small part in a pantomime.
Oh, well, because you haven't got a lot of time, or that's what you'd like?
No, because that's what I miss, being part of pantomime.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Name a color that you don't like.
I wouldn't say I don't like it, but red.
Okay, any particular reason?
Not really. I like the others more.
Okay. How many pairs of underpants do you own?
Oh, let's say more than 10, I guess. Don't make me go count them.
Pop back in a moment. What pair of underpants? What music are you currently listening to?
I don't know. I listen to these very first songs that I
yeah. Very Brava. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Very good song, Rafaela.
Okay, dogs or cats?
Both.
Both? Okay.
I like them both.
What food would you take on a trip to the moon?
Bocadillo de jamón.
Okay. If you could have dinner with anyone from throughout time, dead or alive, who would you go? Who would you have dinner with?
The late actor Christopher Lee, because I heard he has an incredible life. I'd like to ask.
Okay, fair enough. Very good. Okay. Jorge, that's the end of our 2 minutes. Thank you so much for spending time with us today as we look back across your time at Networks Theatre. We love you and we miss you. And next time you're in Orihuela, please do come and say hello to everybody.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thanks very much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Networks Conversations with. Bye-bye.